Hey everyone, welcome to Tenfingers channel. We are looking into entity framework tutorials. In the previous videos, I showed you how to install and configure entity framework into .NET project. From now, I am going to teach you how to write entity framework statements to manipulate data from database. In this video, I am going to teach you how to insert row into table. This is the simple application, and I have a form. We have a button here. Whenever I click this button, it hits this function. So, here we are going to write entity framework statements. This is the data grid view which is used to show the result in future videos. But now, we are going to do these tasks, one by one, using link to extension methods. As you can see, I have already created f_tutorial database and tables with associations. If you don't know how to create database and tables using entity framework, you can check previous videos. Let's get into this. First one, how to insert a single row into single table. Now I am going to insert a new subject into subject table. First of all, we must create subject object, and assign values to its properties. Here, subject ID is the primary key column. I have created identity option on primary key columns for all the tables. So, we don't need to assign values to this column property. By default, entity framework will generate a new ID. Now, we must call context.add function and pass this object as parameter. That's it. Our entity framework statement to add row into table is completed. But still, we have to save our changes by calling context.saveChanges method. For every transaction such as insert, update, and delete, we must call this function after the statement. Let's run the project. As you can see, new subject row is inserted into subject table successfully. Now let's move to the next task, how to insert multiple rows into single table. This time, I am going to add more than one subject in a single entity framework statement. To insert more than one rows we must create collection of subject object. And then, this time I am going to call add range function and pass this collection as parameter. Let's check. More than one row inserted into subject table, using entity framework statement. Next, how to insert rows into more than one table, in a single entity framework statement. For this task, I am going insert rows into these four tables. Let's check the associations created between these tables. All the relation created with student table. So, whenever we insert row into student table, we can also insert rows of its associated tables in the same statement. I will show you how to do this. At first, I am going to create student object, and assign values to its own column properties. Now, one-to-one relation created between student and parent tables, so, let's create new parent object. And assign it as value of parent navigation property. Now, one-to-many relation created between student and student mark tables, this time we must create collection of student mark object, because any student can write more than one exam. Let's create new collection of student mark object, and add student mark objects on it. We must specify value of subject ID column. Because, student mark table associated with subject table also. Now, you may have a question in your mind. Then what about student ID in student mark table? We cannot assign value to student ID foreign key column explicitly. Because, we don't know what is the student ID of the currently inserting student. At the time, Entity Framework will create new student ID as we configured identity option. And will pass it to all the student ID foreign key columns of child tables, in the same insert statement. Now we have 3 subjects, let's assume this student wrote exams of these 3 subjects. And pass this object as value of student mark navigation property. Now, many-to-many relation created between student and courses table. So, we must create a collection of course object. Assign it to courses navigation property in the same way how we did for student mark. Call context.saveChanges function. Let's run the project. As you can see, new row inserted in student table. New parent of the student also inserted. Student marks of student also inserted. And courses of the student also inserted. I hope you can understand how to insert rows into tables using entity framework statements. If you like this video, share, like and subscribe Tenfingers channel for more tutorial videos. Thank you.